everyone. Welcome to TokiTV. Today is October the 9th, right? Is it the 9th? And we're here in our weekly gathering for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut each and every week. In faith, prayer, and education, we have some pretty special guests with us today, and we have a bigger panel. So today's TokiTV show, just so you guys know, we're going to have our TokiTV show, and then after regular show stuff, then we are going to move into our special prayer and meditation time for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut's continued health. You guys have asked that we continue to do that, and we've heard, and we want to continue gathering together for that collective prayer. So thank you for being here. You guys know the drill. Type in your name and where you're watching from. We have people from Idaho and Germany and Milwaukee, Australia, Washington. Of course, we got Washington. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Before we say hello to everyone, I would like to ask Reverend Tammy Lambert to please center us in prayer. And I'm going to mute us while you do that.
All right. Thank you, Annette. Let's just take a moment to take a deep breath. And as we exhale, just allowing the body to relax. Taking another deep breath. And just releasing. And as you take your third deep breath, as you exhale, just release all the stress of the day. Whatever happened today, just let it go. And continue breathing and focusing on that deep, life-giving breath. We are here now in this present moment, in the presence of this divine planet and all the consciousness, all the love on it. We are in the presence of love right now. And so I know that I am one with that collective love, that it is love that brings us here, love that keeps us here. And I know that everyone here, I affirm and declare, is love, is drawn to this by love, is pulled by love, and that is our commitment. So in this highest vibrational frequency, we ask for blessings for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut, blessings for everyone here, blessings for everyone participating. We know it is all good, and so I just release it, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you. Just want to do a quick check-in with everyone. We'll start with the very talkative Deb Cruz. Deb, how are you this Sunday?
Ready?
There we go. We got her laugh, so that's like fabulous. Deborah, how are you today?
I'm good. Hi, all from Whidbey Island. I just wanted to say thank you for everybody's positive posts after our last prayer meeting. It was very inspirational to see the change in the tone. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you. And Christina Mully, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm right with Deb. I wanted to thank everyone for continuing all those really, really good vibes and prayers. It's awesome. It's really working.
Thank you so much. And Alejandro, we all want to hear from Alejandro.
I just came from the Miami Aquarium. I was praying for Lolita by the sidewalk in front of the stadium. Have a rainy day, so I couldn't use my speakers because of the rain. But I was praying, just telling everyone, she's well, she's whole, and she's home. It's our mantra. So I'm so happy that to let me join you today. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Alejandro, we couldn't do this without you. Alejandro hasn't missed a single week, and we are in communication all week long and here. So thank you for being an angel for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut, and we appreciate you, Alejandro.
Thank you.
Everybody loves Alejandro. We say that. Before we introduce our special guest, I just want to share with you guys. So today, this morning, we had Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut and Siamuit from the Lummi Nation bring their totem pole to our church here in New Mexico. And we were able to do some prayers with them today. And Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut was mentioned in our prayer service today. And I love the mantra that came out of Thursday night's prayer and meditation. She is well. She is whole, She is home. I woke up and I saw that just plastered everywhere. Also with the good news that her appetite is increasing. So you guys see the latest report from Friends of Lolita scrolling there at the bottom of the screen. And so prayers work. We're going to continue to do it. We're going to pray her home. It's a powerful prayer wave, as we say, praying our dear Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut home. So thank you all for doing that and gathering with us each and every week. This week we've had Vanessa Prigollini on with us before, but she had quite the summer. And so she's going to tell us all about that. And then we also have Michael Reppy joining. So Vanessa, why don't we start with you? Let's go and start with you. I can't unmute you though. You have to unmute yourself. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for the invitation again, Annette. I'm super happy to be here with you, and I'm honored, to be here with you, with people who have been, doing all this for such a long time. And I want to say that particularly I'm very happy that Michael is here with us. We'll talk later about this. But about sharing my experience with the Northern residents this summer. It's always very special to see orcas in the wild, but it's particularly special for me to go with the Northern residents for several reasons. One is because I don't see them just like an orca population. I see them as individuals, and every time you go back every year, you get to know each individual, you get to know each family, and that's very special. And I think that's a way that you can make people connect with them, as I said, not as a Northern resident population, but more like individuals. So particularly today, I'd like to talk about how special it is for me to see orcas in the wild, because I'm a psychologist and I'm specialized in social emotional behavior. That's one of the reasons why I'm not a researcher, and I'm not planning to be a researcher, but I do like my particular own research with talking to people, because I want to explain to people how much of these animals we don't know, and we will never be able to know or to understand, because orcas have, and Lori Marino has amazing papers about this, orcas have this area in their brain which is much more developed in them than it is in us humans, and it is related to the area of communication and the social emotional area. And why am I bringing this up? Because there's lots of human perceptions, interpretations that we see when they do these behaviors. Like, for example, Northern resident orcas, they tend to do lots of spy hops at the same time, no? And like people usually say, like, oh, it's like they're just sticking their head out of the water just to see what's going on out there. I don't think that's it, because I had one of the most amazing days I had this season was one day where we had 15 orcas, more or less, the A30s, we call them. It's two families. It's two sisters, Blinkhorn and Cleo. And they travel together a lot. So those two are the matriarchs. And that day, for 45 minutes, more or less, that we spent with them, they were spy hopping nonstop, over and over again. I don't think they're just sticking their head out of the water just to see what's going on the surface. My point is, it's a social behavior that we can't understand. It's a social behavior that us humans can't explain, because these animals have very, very complex social emotional area. And when you put these animals in a tiny tank, imagine how much we're taking away from them. That's what I'm trying to say. And speaking particularly about Corky, it makes me sad when I see every summer her family, her brother 5, which is a huge, beautiful boy. No, well, not boy, he's not a boy anymore. And her sister Ripple, her niece Midsummer. And every time I see them, I tell people the story of Corky, but it also breaks my heart in the sense that I feel it's so unfair that I get to see her family every summer, and she's never met her brother. She's never met her niece. She's never met, her own blood. So because of this very social complex structure in the families of orcas. And because we know that, and being 2022, I know most people who are watching us, or all people who are watching us, don't support captivity. But what I want to ask them is just help us spread the word, because education is key. And I used to be an activist when I was a teenager, standing outside the dolphinariums, no, and I respect and admire, no, people who do that, like Alejandro. I respect so much what he does, but in my case, I've chosen education because I think education is key to help these animals. That's why I focus so much in showing the contrast, no, like the film I did, the contrast of their life in the wild and their life in captivity, because that's a way humans can connect, no, with like people ask me, is it that you made it like so hard touching that film because you're a psychologist? It's not because of that. It's because I'm sensitive, and because I've seen orcas in the wild so many times that I can't even picture what it feels like for them to be in a tiny tank. So I think Lolita, Corky, Shaman, I mean, all orcas in captivity, we owe them so much. And it's funny because the people who didn't put them in the tank, like us, are the ones who are trying to spread the word, no? But I'm very, very grateful with all of you. And I would just like to ask people, keep spreading the word, please, about how bad it is. Because if there is no demand, there won't be any offer or supply anymore. So that's the kind of work that I want to keep doing.
Thanks, Vanessa. And I know I follow you, so I get to see a lot of really cool videos and pictures. Is it okay that I just start putting some up on the screen and you can tell us who they are? And yeah, okay, all right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, you started you started with my
Too soon?
oh, he's my favorite one. I love this guy so much. His name is Serge, Surge. He's a very special one for me. I don't name them. I know they have like alpha numerical. That's how scientists name them, no? Like he's A61, but I don't name him A61. He's Serge. So this big boy, he's a beautiful boy. As you can tell, he has the tip of his dorsal fin like bent. And why is he my favorite one? Why do I love him so much? Because as I said, once again, I think most of what we know of orcas are just human perceptions. And my human perception as a psychologist and as a person who has been working with orcas not for such a long time, but for some seasons, is that Serge kind of breaks the rule when it comes to orcas, because we know like orcas, they have this matrix society, right? Like resident orcas, they have very well defined that matrix society. But Serge, he lost his family long time ago, and it was only him and Cordero, his niece, for a very long time. So they usually travel with other families, but sometimes they just travel on their own. And my human perception is that Serge, even though males don't really look after, orca males don't really look after the young ones, it I it seems to me that Serge has been looking after Cordero for many years, and now Cordero has a baby, which its name is Twilight. So now the family is three of them, and I mean, and Serge is like he's curious, you know. Like restrictions in Canada are very strict when it comes to whale watching, which is good. So we always keep like our distance to at least 200 meters from northern resident orcas. I know it's different in United States. I think so. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's kind of similar, but a bit different. Anyway, so we keep our distance, but Serge usually comes close, and and it's, as I said, this is my human perception. But like last season, not this season, like 2 years ago, because of COVID, I couldn't come back to Canada last season, and I missed the whales a lot. So the last day that I was 2 years ago, I really wanted to see Serge, because Serge kind of comes and then disappears for weeks and then comes back, and that's how he is. And I was like really hoping, I really want to see Serge before I go. And I saw him and he just started vocalizing. You could even hear him, like not even with a hydrophone, and actually the start of the film that I did contrasts the first vocalizations, the sounds that you're listening to, it's Serge. So I could just go on and on about Serge, but yeah, he's my favorite one. I'm not so sure who those are. Probably A30s. But not so sure because I don't think I can tell right away about who all of them are. But yeah, that was at the beginning of the season where we could see more snow on the mountains, and yeah, just orcas traveling. Oh, I think these are the eyes. So the eyes. Northern residents are divided in three clans, A, G, and R. So these eyes, in the A clan and in the G clan, we have eyes. So these are the eyes in the G clan. And it's beautiful to have them. Last year we had them a lot. This year, not really. And yeah, people ask like, why? It's not, they are called resident orcas, but that's not a very accurate name because actually we usually just see them in the summer and that's it. Wherever the salmon is where they are gonna be. So these orcas, they only eat fish. 90% of their diet is salmon, and 90% of the salmon they eat is Chinook salmon, which unfortunately is endangered. And we have to keep in mind that endangered is one step before extinction. Humans like to eat salmon. Orcas, they need it to survive. And not only orcas, around 100 different species in the rainforest in the west coast, their lives depend on salmon. And right now that we have a drought, it's terrible, no? Because then in 2018, I used to work in the Great Bear Rainforest, and I saw with my own eyes like salmon not being able to jump into the rivers, no, going from the ocean to the rivers because there was a drought and the level of the water was not enough for the salmon to go there, and literally salmon cooking in the ocean, which is super sad. So yeah, lots of the when you work in the wild, you get to see the impact of humans, no, what we're doing to these animals. And yeah, I just want to remind that to people. I'm no one to tell people what to do, but I just really want to remind that orcas, bears, wolves, ravens, eagles, seals, sea lions, their life depends on salmon and ours doesn't. Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry, thank you. So I have a bunch of pictures, but I'm wondering, you talked about the spy hopping. So I kind of flashed that one earlier. It's just beautiful. It's just such a beautiful picture.
And I don't know if you can find the one that is like 4 or 5 orcas spy hopping at the same time. But yeah, about spy hopping, like I don't have lots of experience. That one, yeah, that picture to me it's a very very special one because like seeing these orcas, as I was saying, doing this for 45 minutes over and over again. That's when I'm like, we can't say they're just sticking their head out of the water just to see what's happening. You don't do that for 45 minutes. And that's when I say we can't explain this behavior. And I'd love you guys to jump in and tell me your human interpretation of what's going on here. But what I can, like, we know orcas that for them, physical touch is very important, right? Like they are rubbing their bodies against each other. It's important for them. And when they do this, they do it so close and in like so much in sync that as I said, this is way beyond our understanding. We can't understand what's going on.
I'm curious, Michael, what do you think what's your interpretation of that picture?
I love that.
Well, I'm no orca expert, but I love that picture too, Vanessa. I mean, that says a lot. Well, family's everything. Orcas, they're bonded for life together. So, and they do things in sync. So I see those all together, coming up together. To me, it's togetherness. They do it right in sync with each other, and they breathe in sync too, you know, when they're swimming together. So that's my take.
That's beautiful. I want to show, if it's okay, you have a 52-second video here, and I think it just goes along with what we were saying. I'm going to show that real quick, and then after the video, you can tell us a little bit more about it, Vanessa.
Well, that was a very, very special day. Each encounter with orcas is different. Each encounter is special. Like people ask me, like, don't you get bored? I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean? One, and even people like, because I get very excited, even though it's been years I've been working with them. They tell me like, why do you get so excited? Is this a very special behavior? And I get excited because how come you can't get excited, you know, to see these beautiful animals? Besides, it's my dream since I was little to work with orcas in the wild. So about this video, it was the 8:30, so Cleo and Blinkhorn, the matrix I was telling you about, we basically, like, those guys, those two families, they stick around pretty much for almost all summer. And then the eyes, the ones that I was mentioning earlier, they work together because that's also another behavior so amazing. I've only seen it once with the northern residents, but they do this. Sorry guys, I forgot the word in English. They do this greeting ceremony. So it's when two families, no, they just come together, and you see one here, one family here, and the other family here, like facing each other, and then they just stay there for several seconds, sometimes minutes. Then they go down, and then they underwater, I mean, and then they just show up all together, swimming together. So that's also a beautiful, very social. Once again, we have to keep in mind these animals are have very social characteristics that we can't understand. So that this was not a greeting ceremony, but this was like a gathering of three different families. I believe it was 3 or 4, and of 2 different clans. So seeing them so much in sync, even though they are not from the same family, that also for me it's a question. You know, it's like how they do that. Because I know, like, in Antarctica, when orcas are hunting seals that are on the ice packs, they line each other like perfectly beside each other, and the white patch, the eye patch, is good for them in order, because the water is so dark, so they can be like in a perfect line, no? Like we have to keep in mind their vision is not like ours. Their eyes are here, no? So they start doing these waves. They create these waves in Antarctica for the seals to fall down, no, from the ice packs, and that's when they hunt the seal. My point is that when I see different families, like in this video, so much in sync, and listening to all those blows, like one over and over again, that's when I'm like, how can they be in so much in sync if they are not the same family? So once again, another social behavior that I don't know what's really going on there.
Someone made a comment on with the spy hopping picture that they said that maybe they were just all out enjoying the sun. They were coming out to enjoy the sun. I'm going to show another video. Looks like you got a close-up encounter here.
That's amazing. Amazing.
How many of your hearts just went when you heard that? Oh, that's beautiful.
Before I used to cry all the time, like all the time. Now I don't cry anymore. But as you say, my heart is like, and I yell a lot of the time, like, wow, this is so cool. And that day, that was a very, very special day. So those are transient orcas. Well, we're not supposed to call them transient orcas anymore. We're supposed to call them now bigs, after Michael Biggs. So those are bigs. And it's two brothers, and they started that day. We went back, we didn't really see orcas at all. We could barely find humpback whales, but it was one of those days when, like, that's nature, right? So we were almost back, and all of a sudden we started hearing something that I've never heard before, because it's the first time that I actually hear Big's orcas vocalizing, because as far as we know, they are more quiet than resident orcas. Resident orcas are super chatty, and Bigs, they are not, because they eat marine mammals. So the interpretation is that they don't want to be so loud, because they don't want to be heard by dolphins or seals or sea lions, right? By their prey. So this day we started hearing something. For me, it was like, it was weird. It was a very weird sound that I didn't relate with an orca. And all of a sudden we keep listening to these vocals, and the captain says, like, I think that's orca. And so, yeah, we stopped the boat, and then all of a sudden these two big boys show up, and they were vocalizing. Like, it was beautiful. And I do want to mention something that I find super interesting, because I'm from Mexico. The vocals of these orcas sound very similar to the vocals of orcas in Mexico. So yeah, that was a very, very special day. They went really close to the boat, as you can say. And that's as I tell people, because sometimes people are like, I want to be closer. I'm like, no, we can't. Like we have to respect, we have to keep our distance. But if they choose to come closer, we turn off the engine and we let the encounter happen, no, like it did with these two big boys. So it was very, very special. And then they were like, as I said, like, I don't know if you were able to see, but at the end of the video, one is like this, no? And the other one, like, kind of rubs the body of its brother, no? And yeah, as I said, family, as Michael said, it's family is so important, no? So yeah, that was a beautiful encounter with the bigs.
I think I might have the sound. So there's a video here that just has sound, and the water's pretty calm. Do you think that that's the sound you're talking about? Did you guys record that, or?
I'm not sure. I have it here. I can play it for you if you want.
Let me play this one and tell me what you
think it's that one.
This is it. If not, tell me who this is.
It's them. That's them. It's T60D and T60E, those two brothers. T is for transient, 60 is just a number assigned, and D and E is letters that you assign to them when they are family related. D was born after E. So yeah, that's the vocals. As I said, I don't know how it sounded for you guys, but to me, it's not like the usual orca sound that you're like, oh, it's an orca.
I wasn't sure when I was getting the videos ready. I was like, I wonder if she meant to send me this one, or maybe it's, humpbacks, but it doesn't really sound like them either. So that's really, really cool. This one's a really fast one, but this is cool. And that water is just like glass, and then all of a sudden there he is, or she. I don't know. Who was that?
That's Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut, and it took me a while to learn his name. It's a First Nation word, Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut with a K. So he's I think he's like 16, 17 years old now. And he's part of the A30s. And yeah, he's a big boy that he's growing a lot, like a lot. And because orcas, they don't, orcas, I mean, probably most people know like this, but I don't like to assume people know things, so I prefer to explain. So orcas, they, when they're, for many years when they're born, they all have like the rounded shape dorsal fin, no, like a dolphin, because they're dolphins. They're not killer whales. That's a very wrong name that I never ever use. And so anyways, so when they start sprouting around the age of 14, 15 years old, the males start to have that taller, like triangle shaped dorsal fin. And so Cleoites, he's getting big because he's yeah, like it's very beautiful when you get to see these orcas that when you met them, no, they had like the shape like this, and you cannot really tell if it's a male or a female unless they jump and you get an amazing picture of their belly, no. So anyway, so Cleo is a male. He's doing well, and he spent pretty much all the season with us, or we spent pretty much all the season with him.
It's awesome. And this, I got your permission. I used this on one of my story videos.
That baby, he's, yeah. That was very much at the beginning of the season. He was, I remember, I don't remember exactly who, like the letters. As I said, I'm not so good with letters, and it doesn't have a name yet, but it's part of G clan. So this baby, it just kept breaching over and over and over again. That was a beautiful, beautiful day. And I always wanted to have the picture of a baby, because the way they reach is kind of like you don't really get to see many adults doing that, like, like this, like adults kind of do more like, like this. So yeah, I've always wanted to take a picture of a baby. So yeah, that's a baby. We don't know the gender or name yet.
I was
Because,
watching,
sorry.
I was watching the panel when I put that up, and everyone smiled. I'm sure everyone at home did too when they saw that baby. That's just so adorable. That's so adorable.
So adorable. Oh, that Serge again. Yeah, pure baby joy. I agree, Susan. Pure, yeah, that's the name of the picture. Let's name it. Oh, that's Bend. So Bend, she's part of the 830s, and she's beautiful, and she has that huge notch. I think that's the word in English, notch, Nick. Which makes, we don't really know what happened there, but that makes it very easy to identify her. So she's part of the family of Cleoites, the male that we saw earlier. Yeah, so Bend, that's her name, Bend. This was a special moment, no, because you don't often get to see big boys, big males, as I was saying, like when they're like sprouting. Like most of the ones that we saw this season were not really like big male dorsal fins. So yeah, this was a nice moment with these three big boys there. We had this very special day where Dusky, one of the orcas that rarely shows up in the area, was there with its family. So yeah, that was one of those days. These are the A30s again. Bend, the one that I showed you with the nick, with the big nick at the front of the dorsal fin, which actually is very uncommon, because usually when you see nicks in the dorsal fin of orcas, is mostly at the back, but Bend, she has it at the front. So the one at the very front, that's her, Bend. Oh, this is super, super special, because guess who is here? This is Springer and her family. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, that day, that day was so beautiful. We always want to see Springer. Everybody wants to see Springer. There's people who travel from all around the world to see Springer, and yeah, Springer doesn't really stick around that much. But yeah, seeing her with her two cats, Storm and Spirit, they're doing well. And yeah, she was traveling that day. Like this picture, it's not only Springer and her family. She was also traveling with the A54s, which are part of the A30s families. As I said, I don't think that means anything to people. I'll just say she was traveling with other families. So yeah, this is very special.
Which one is she in the picture, Vanessa?
I'm not sure if she's the one like more like closer, because she was closer to the boat, so I don't think we can see her here. Like, there's a video. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the video because it's in my social media, and I wanted to send it to you, but in the video you can tell right away which one is Springer. She's the one that is closest to the boat, and Springer, she has a very distinctive saddle patch, because she has a very open saddle patch that kind of has like a finger in it, no, like the shape of a finger, and that's how we identify Springer. So yeah, it was very special. And that day, because it was the anniversary of the 20 years of when Springer was rehab, they did the rehab and all of that. All the people who were involved in the Springer rehab to bring her back from Washington, from Puget Sound to the north, to Vancouver Island. They were there. It was amazing, no, to meet all these people who did this, who made this happen. And I'm so glad, so happy that Springer was never put in a tiny tank, no, for an aquarium. And I'm so happy that because of people like John Ford, who have been studying orcas for decades, no, they realized, no, by listening to Springer, that she belonged, no, up north to the northern residents. So yeah, we had that event, where I met all these amazing humans who took Springer back to her family. And I just want to tell something that probably you all know or not about Springer. What's something that I find very interesting about Springer is that when they took her to Dong Chong Bay, a bay that is in Hanson Island, and she was ready, like they were ready to let her go. They were just waiting for her family to pass in front of the bay, just to open the net and let her go. So that all happened. But as I was saying, because orcas, they really love and they need to have like physical contact. When Springer got lost, she started looking for physical contact with logs. So up here, like in this area, we have lots of driftwood, lots of logs in the ocean, just floating. So Springer used to do that. She used to go and rub her body against the logs. So when they opened the net at Dong Chong Bay to let her go with her family, instead of going with her family, she went to a log and started rubbing her body against the log. And all people and scientists were like, oh no, we failed. But over and over again, they just kept like trying to with boats, like to push her towards family. And it was actually Serge's sister who one day she kind of separated Springer from the boat. Like she swam between the boat and Springer and kind of took Springer in. And that's how like Springer went back to the orcas instead of to the humans. So I think Springer is such a beautiful story. So it's very special to see her every year.
That's beautiful. I want to show one more picture, and then while we're on the topic of rehabilitation, we'll switch over to talk to Michael. But this one is very special as well.
Yeah. Oh, that was crazy. That's Frosty. So Frosty is a transient orca from California. Well, it's not that it's from California, but it's like usually the area where it's seen. So apparently it's the first time Frosty and his family went so far up north. And that was insane. Like, I've never seen a white orca before. So so Frosty was there, and then it went to a bay, Beaver Cove, it's called, to a cove, which unfortunately he got not stranded. He got kind of stranded because the water was very low. So then a research boat went there to try to help, and it was I don't know, it probably lasted an hour and a half there until final. And the mother was desperate, like you could see her super stressed because Frosty couldn't go back to the water. It was in very, very shallow waters. finally it went back, no, and you could see them disappearing. I like my human perception is like, let's go back to California. These waters are dangerous. Let's stop exploring. No, but of course that's just a human perception in my head. So yeah, it was very beautiful to see Frosty. I think this is the kind of things that only happen once in a lifetime. I don't think. Well, I don't know, but it's like hard to see a white orca. So it's a condition that they have in the skin, and I can't really explain like all the medical part and all the medical issues when it comes to this condition. But unfortunately, the orcas that had, like, there was an orca in captivity, Chimo. It had the same condition, and Tluk, another orca in the BC, transient orca in the British Columbia waters, they, for what I know, they don't survive more than 3-4 years or something like that. So I don't think Frosty is gonna last long, which is sad. But well, it's nature, right? It's nature.
A lot of thank you for sharing. So because you have this really these great experiences, and you bringing them to us is really important. So thank you for everything you do to raise awareness, and for sharing all your cool videos and pictures. A lot of people saying they could listen to this all day. Thanking you for being with us. Some people are saying also on that Spy Hop picture that the family's praying together. Power clan togetherness. People are commenting. I want you to go back, Vanessa, and check out all the comments. Pure baby joy for sure. But everybody's really happy about you sharing this. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you got to spend some time with Michael. So I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, to give Michael an introduction so we can chat with him as well.
Actually, it's the first time I see we see each other face to face. So last year last year I was at the Orca Lab and learning lots about. I was there as a volunteer and learning lots about the language, the communication of northern resident orcas. So there was a girl there. She told me, "You have to meet Michael. You have to meet Michael." No, because she knew I like all I've been doing against captivity and trying to raise awareness. So we went one day to Double Bay. Just we didn't even call him. We just like stopped by on the boat to see if he was around, but he was not around. And I fell in love with the place. I was like, this is paradise. So anyways, I went back to Mexico, and this year at the Springer event, I met this beautiful person. Her name is Nicolette, and I saw she had a stand for the Double Bay Sanctuary, and I was like, please, I need to contact Michael Reppy, please, please, please. So anyway, she contacted us, and we talked on the phone, and I told Michael, I really want to collaborate with you. I want to help, no, and I want to, I'm here, like, use me, I'm here, so I want to help, no. So we had some phone calls. Then I went to the sanctuary, a few times while I was up there. And then I met the people there who are amazing people. No, I'll let Michael talk more about it. So I respect and admire everything that Michael has done all these years, to raise awareness. He told me, how he got into this. I'd rather him talk about it, because I think it's much better when someone talks about their experience. But yeah, I'm super grateful, Michael. I want to say publicly that I'm so grateful that you let me join this beautiful project, and that I will do anything I can to help you.
Welcome, Michael. I'm going to put you on the big screen now.
Yeah. Well,
thank you for being with us.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction, Vanessa. And it's very mutual. We love having you on Team Corky. And so also thank you, TokiTV. It's a real honor to be here to talk about the Double Bay Sanctuary in Corky. And I just feel like there's a lot of parallels between TokiTV and Corky. I mean, they're both amazing survivors. 52 years is just beyond belief. They're just strength and resilience and will to carry on is just something to behold. So they both, as you all know, deserve to come home. And we're doing everything we can to bring Corky home. And the Double Bay Sanctuary, I had the fortune of being able to purchase the former fishing lodge, Pacific Outback Resort, in 2018. And at some point you can put the picture up of the bay. There we go. And down in the lower part is the fishing lodge. And this is a just an artist's rendition of what the enclosure would be like in the bay. And I'll describe that a little bit more. But first off, let me say that this is traditional territory of the Namgis First Nations. And I've been meeting with them. And we absolutely encourage and are bringing them into the project and meeting to get their prior informed consent, which is absolutely the right way to go. And we're still working on it, and we're definitely going to get that and encourage the Namgis to take a very, very strong role and in our campaign to bring Corky home. So we're just absolutely happy to have them. And so this, the way it happened was, I'd heard that the former fishing lodge was up for sale. I went and saw it, and I went, oh my God, this place is ideal to be the infrastructure for a sanctuary in the bay. And I had the funds, and I just couldn't resist it. I had to do it and purchase the place. It had been sitting idle for about 4 years, a lot of rotted decks, foundations. It needed a lot of work, but I've been working on the Free Corky campaign for over 25 years. So this was the ideal opportunity. So I just went for it. And if you want to put the picture back up, I'll describe a little bit about it. So it's on Hansen Island, and Orca Lab is just about 3 miles away on the island, Hansen Island. And what you're seeing in the background there is Blackfish Sound. And that is sort of the superhighway for the orcas and humpback whales who have come back in the last 20 years. There's just plenty of humpbacks out there. And Corky's family comes by here quite regularly, like Vanessa was describing. The northern residents are doing extremely well, including Corky's family. There are 16 whales in her family, including Fife and Ripple and Midsummer, who has a little new baby called Nanook. And Vanessa has probably seen them quite a bit. So that's the exciting thing too, and this bay has all the requirements of a sanctuary. It's protected, as you can see, by the little islets there. Prevailing winds are from the southeast, which is over from the right-hand side. It's well protected. It has good tidal flushing, so the water is clean. It's going to be even cleaner. The facility has 2 septic tanks that discharge into the bay, which we can't have that. And so we're working on a new system. It's going to be composting toilets and a gray water system. We're going to shut down those septic tanks that discharge in the bay, so the water is going to be pristine and clean. And the other thing is it's in a fairly isolated area, yet it's close enough to cities, marine facilities, good access by boat. So it's really got everything that we would require. Plus, on the left-hand side, if you along that row of trees, there is a deep water channel coming into the dock. So it's very accessible by boats. And you notice we've got the netted enclosure, which is an 18-acre space. And you can see in there, we have 2 little whales. That would be Corky and a companion. So Corky doesn't have to be alone, which I really like that idea of having a companion. And 18 acres, up to 80 feet deep and more out in the center area, lots of space, and all the natural benefits of natural seawater with the kelp and the rocks and the fish and the birds and everything for a natural setting for Corky. And then if you can see on that little islet there, there is a dock with a feeding station, a medical exam station, and then a little staff cabin there. So the plan is for Corky to come and also to continue to be cared for by her SeaWorld staff, veterinarians, and she would be fed, taken care of, and all those buildings down there at the bottom would be the infrastructure and house the Corky care team. There's plenty of room. There's a big lounge. There's a big restaurant-sized kitchen. We have 3 cabins with kitchens and wood-burning stoves that would house the Corky care team. It's got everything we need. So it's really the ideal setting for a sanctuary. And you can see much more of all the details on our website, doublebaysanctuary.org, which now, I don't know if you know, Vanessa, it is now multilingual. Vanessa translated the whole thing into Spanish and it went up today. How about that? Yeah.
That's very exciting. I just saw before the email with the that's great. And I'd like to ask everybody to please go into the website and share this information, because that's the way to go. Sanctuaries.
Plus it's in French, thanks to your friend Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
So really happy about that. Also, there is a link to the Corky documentary, which just came out this year, which is the story of Corky's life and all the long years of campaigning to actually for all that time, we wanted her to return to her family in the wild. But if you could put that picture back up of the sanctuary in Blackfish Sound, as I said, Corky's family passes by quite regularly. So the other just beautiful thing that could happen and will happen is that they will be in vocal communication for sure, using their the A5 dialect, which Corky knows. Corky had 4 years with her mom's stripe. So when Corky's family passes by, they will be in vocal communication, and undoubtedly her family is going to come in and there will be a reconnection right there. So, and you notice there is, besides the black circle outside of that, there's another line of buoys. So that would keep boats away, and it's possible that we may need, depends on the permitting, which is a whole nother thing that we need to work on. We've started the process with DFO and other agencies. There'll be a lot of permitting and requirements to meet, and one of them could be that a second netting would be required, so there would be a physical separation from other orcas or marine mammals, so there couldn't be any physical touching, because there is a concern about pathogen transmission. So I suspect that that's probably what we'll need to do, but we just drew it up there, but just wanted to explain that. So the other thing about the bay is it's been used for crabbing, and it's an anchorage, but the way we've laid it out, there's still room for all those traditional uses of the bay as an anchorage, crabbing by fishermen, First Nations. So I think we've got the perfect layout here for this sanctuary for Corky. And so for the last 4 years, we have been rebuilding all those rooms, all those buildings. We've upgraded. Now it's completely solar powered. There's a big generator. The generator used to run the whole time. It's shut down. It's only there as a backup. This is completely solar powered. We're going to be very green, very clean. We're going to shut down that septic system. This is going to be a model of how to do it. And hopefully it's going to be a model for other sanctuaries, because this would be the first sanctuary in North America, actually, other than there is a sanctuary in Iceland. And then the Whale Sanctuary Project is developing a larger sanctuary, as you probably know, in Nova Scotia. But this would be the first one out here in the West. And it could serve as a model of how to do it. We need many, many more. As you know, there's almost 60 orcas in captivity and thousands of dolphins. And so we need sanctuaries. So that's another purpose of what we're here for, to try to do this the right way. Unfortunately, it's taken a whole lot longer than I had wanted. That's the way these things go. COVID slowed it down. I managed to get in the country. I didn't know if I could even get across the border. That's a whole nother story. It was kind of funny, but I managed to get in. And then this last year, I haven't even been there because I ended up getting treated for a lymphoma cancer. I'm back here in California. I've had chemotherapy and it's gone well. I'm in remission. Going to stay, right? Yeah, and I'll be back up there. Fortunately, we have Nicolette on the site. As Vanessa mentioned, she's been a godsend and sort of been filling in and managing the project while I've been gone. So, you know, we're lucky there that we're still carrying on and rebuilding. So where we're at, it's rebuilt enough. It's been repainted. The big project now, and they're pouring all these concrete. I think it was like at least 600 bags of concrete have been lugged in and poured by hand to build this curing shed. And we're putting in composting toilets. It's just unbelievable what they're doing, you know, in small boats, loading up all these bags of concrete, and they're carrying on and working while I'm gone. So I'm grateful for that. But we're far enough along, and it's looking good. Vanessa, you can describe it. You've been there. You want to jump in and just say what you saw when you visited? Why don't you?
Yeah, and actually, we have a video coming up soon, no, to show the beauty of that place. We went up there. There's another guy from Colombia. His name is Sebastian Nichols. He's part of the Corky team. So yeah, we want to show in the video the beauty of the place, because as Michael was saying, there's a building with an area where there will be education, conferences, many beautiful projects, research. No, it's a facility that when you go there, it's like you don't want to leave it. It's paradise. It's stunning. And the rooms, like as he was saying, like everything is very well set up, no, for people when they go there for the SeaWorld team. It's like an amazing place to be. Like you would much rather, as an orca and as a trainer, live there than being in a concrete tank. So yeah, Michael has like set up all, like, yeah, he's been thinking of everything. What I love about this project also, it's not only the sanctuary itself, but that it is a eco-friendly, as he was mentioning. And the last day when I was the last week when I went to say goodbye to the sanctuary, for now, I was just like looking at the place, looking at the water, and I just saw Machu, that is an amazing guy that is working there, also part of the team. He was pointing me to the salmon. No, he was like, "This is baby salmon. This is baby salmon." And I was just picturing being an orca, no, and I was like coming from a concrete tank, here, like to chase salmon, to play with kelp, because orcas, they like to play with kelp, no, and all of that. My point is, if we, and this is not me saying it, Alexandra Morton said this at the Corky movie, and that's a phrase that stick to my head. If we humans figure it out how to put these beautiful animals from the ocean to a tiny tank, it's not that hard to put them back where they belong, right? So it's not that complicated. I mean, it is lots of work, but we can do it. So yeah, the place is big, and it has everything, like that we need for a sanctuary. As Michael was saying, which is very, very important, is that people keep in mind that we want to work as a team with SeaWorld, because they know Corky better than anyone, no, and we need to work as a team. The world is moving forward very slowly, but sanctuaries, as he said, is the way to go. Like, we need more of this around the world. And this gem that Michael, and we are also grateful, no, like Michael purchased this place and is putting all this energy to make this happen. I'm sure Double Bay will be in the future, like one of those examples around the world, no, and that's the way to go, no. So I would like people to, as I was saying, invite people to go into the Double Bay Sanctuary website, check it out, contact us for any question, and yeah, and if you want to help, then let us know as well.
Thank you both. And please, guys, go check out the website. I'm sure there's a lot of questions. And so, Michael, maybe if you don't mind, after the show airs, maybe you can go back and the questions will continue and you can still respond. So there's a lot of questions. I could talk to you guys all day. We do have some folks in London waiting for us to start our special prayer and meditation session. And so last time we had it in the evening, it was 3 a.m. in London and like 4 in Germany or something like that. So we want to be able to move on to that here pretty soon. But real quick, Vanessa's going to be, you want to tell us about the film festival, and the Corky movie is going to be aired there. So that's coming up soon, right, Vanessa?
Yes, that's coming up soon, and yeah, I'll be there. My film doesn't have that amazing time that Corky's film has. Mine is gonna be in the morning, Saturday morning. I know, Friday morning, so I'm gonna be there. I'm very excited because not only because Friday Harbor is a very special orca place, but also because it's the first time I'm gonna attend a film festival in person, because of COVID. All the film festivals that I submitted my film to were online, so it's very exciting. And also yeah, having the Corky film there, having contrasts there, and when I check the schedule, it's mainly all whale and ocean films, no. So I hope people can make it up there, or down there, wherever you are. So yeah, it's Annette, it would be great if you could make it there, but
It would be cool. I've gotta hang out with you, but I'll definitely be spending some time in Canada this next summer with you. Just thank you both so much. Michael, would love to have you come back we're going to have Tim. I don't know if you could put the date there. We're going to have another special Corky edition in December. I believe it is for her anniversary of capture. Tim, I'm not sure if that's the case, but he asked.
December 11th.
Yes. Okay. So we are going to be having another session for Corky on the show, and we would love to have you come and join us for that as well.
I'd love to be there. Yes, and I could give you updates on progress with SeaWorld. You probably wonder where we're at there. You know, we've just begun to reach out, and I'll have a lot more to say by then.
Perfect.
Where
Thank you.
we're at. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And people are asking about the website. Again, it's doublebaysanctuary.org, correct?
That's right.
Okay. So you guys check that out. Michael and Vanessa, thank you so very much. You're welcome to stay with us. We're going to kind of shift gears a little bit. So people are like, wait, we're not talking about Toki, and there's a lot that's happened this week. So yes, there's been a lot that's happened this week. So there was a post that came out that she was sick. She lost her appetite. A lot of people, rightfully so, very worried about her health. And so it's been a roller coaster, if you will. Someone called it a tornado or, of a time, because it's been rocky and it's been a little scary on what's going on with her. But we had a very special prayer and meditation session on Thursday night, and I believe that this did help, because on Friday morning we got the report that her appetite has returned. The Dolphin Company has since been posting every day an update on her health, and so it sounds like she continues to. I'll try to roll that banner again on the latest report, but her appetite has increased. She's more active. They acknowledge that she was in the back medical pool for much of this week, or parts of this week, I should say, much of this week, to assist in giving her her treatment. But she is doing better. The reports that are coming out every day are more and more positive. So we've been asking for transparency. So I'm appreciative of anything that they are willing to share with us. And we're going to continue to pray for her and her well-being and her health. We'll continue to, we do it every day, and we're going to continue to gather maybe twice a week to be able to have a special prayer and meditation session. Alejandro, is there anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you so much, Michael, for your amazing work to help Corky. Thank you, Vanessa, for joining us. And don't forget that I brought you here to TokiTV. You had to say thank you, Alejandro. Thank you, Alejandro.
Thank you, Alejandro. Gracias, Alejandro. I love you.
Me too. No, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And I hope to see Corky retired and TokiTV retired too. And many other orcas too. Thank you so much.
And we have a bigger panel, because Deborah and Christina have talk about some prayer warriors as well. Christina, is there anything you want to say before we shift into that portion?
Yes, thanks. I did want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you that have been sending out positive affirmations, whatever you want to call it, meditation, prayer, just putting it out there in the universe. To me, it's all the same. It's just, putting it out there in the universe, creating it, and I feel that it's very powerful. And I also think that it's working. So I hope that we all continue to do that. And I just wanted to reiterate that I feel that it's all the same. It's just, if you want to call it prayer, if you want to call it meditation, if you want to call it, just putting it out there, just your energy, it's all the same to me. So please keep doing it. And speaking of which, when I was doing my visualization, I was thinking, because I can see it really, really clear, I go free diving, and it's just like, and I thought, well, maybe some people can't see that, like when your vision is, Toki swimming in her kelp and doing all that stuff. So I thought, oh, well, maybe, a visualization that you actually can see would help. And so contacted my friend there at Pacific Northwest Protectors, Simo, and he just let us use this beautiful, absolutely stunning footage that he, actually it was a couple of years ago that he made that, and it was like serendipity. He was like, oh, that's the perfect thing for this, because it was going to be used for something else. Anyway, so it was serendipity. He's like, I'm so happy that this can be used for that. And so that's what we have to see, where Toki would be swimming in her waters. So please keep the vision alive.
Thank you, Christina. And Deborah's with us. They're from Whidbey Island, correct, Deborah? And you were with us on Thursday. What a powerhouse! What a prayer powerhouse you are. Is there anything you want to say before we shift over?
I just wanted to share, and science will back me up on this. Our emotions are energy in motion. They can actually measure it. So whatever actions or words or thoughts or prayers, whatever we're putting out to help these sentient, beautiful beings, when we do it in love, the vibration is huge and it's open, and it leaves space for Creator to come in and create miracles and to open hearts and minds, and just to help us communicate with each other without a bunch of ah. And whereas the opposite is also true. If you have this feeling and then you're out there talking to people and you're letting yourself be afraid and angry and upset, and I'm angry at these captive people, it contracts. And then the people that we're trying to talk to create this miracle, they shut down. They're not going to listen to us. You're going to be the crazy person that's like, I'm not listening to this person. But if everything you do and everybody you talk to, you do it from a heart-centered, open, loving space, they hear you and it opens their heart. It's just a thing that happens. It's a magic. I don't know how it does it, but it does it. So I would just ask everybody, whatever form you use, do it in a loving, heart-centered space. It'll work miracles, I promise. I've seen it happen. Thank you.
What an amazing message, Deborah. Thank you. I will just say amen, because that was a prayer right there. Thank you so very much for sharing that. Reverend Tammy did our prayer and meditation session on Thursday, and lots of requests to have her back to do that again with us today. And like Christina said, she sent the video from Sai that we're going to be playing during this prayer and meditation time, so that you guys can feel like you're there, knowing that she's there, because we are connected with her, and how we feel and the energy we put out does affect her. And so we want to swim for a while in her home waters while we have this prayer and meditation time. Those in the UK, Ola and Joe, I hope you're still hanging in there. We went a little over, but we wanted you to join us today. So Reverend Tammy, I'm going to go ahead and I'll show you guys our picture that we used last week. Faith over fear. We do believe that prayer, like I said, it was a little scary last week. We weren't sure what the news meant, and I shared with the group off camera, and I didn't do it live, that I would much rather someone pray for me from a space of faith than from a space of fear. And so we're taking that on, the faith over fear, and it is working. She is getting better, and we're going to keep the powerful prayer wave coming that is going to carry her home. So Reverend Tammy, I will go ahead and unmute you and turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Annette, and thank you for this invitation to share this moment, this moment of spirit. And we just know that in this breath that there is life. So let's just focus on our breath. Feel it coming into the body, feel it leaving the body. Knowing that no matter what we believe, no matter what our spiritual background, that each of us are loved, each of us have light, each of us breathes the breath of life. As we breathe in the oxygen in and out of our lungs, we are all connected with this life. We know that this life is love, that love is not just an emotion, love is a power, love is divine. So we just breathe in the beauty of this, breathing in the beauty of the sunshine, breathing in the power of light. As we breathe in light, and just release any tension. Breathe in light, breathe out smoke. You can release any kind of negativity. Breathing in light, breathing out. As you continue to focus on your breath, remember that we are pulled by love. We are here for love. We are drawn together and connected by love. And as we sit in this moment, knowing the truth of this, we bring our attention to our beloved, our sister in the water, Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. We bring our attention knowing that she is loved as well, that she is part of this circle of life. She's part of the connected web of life. And so we just bring our attention and we hold her in our heart. And just bring your attention to the center of your chest and hold her in the heart. And just surround the heart with love. I love you. I love you. You are so loved. Thank you for the lessons we are learning from you. We thank you. Our heart is filled with the gratitude. We just sit there with our heart attention. And just breathing in to the heart and breathing out. As we continue to be in this focused space, we declare the truth. The truth is that Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut, she is well, she is whole, she is home. We feel our hearts rejoice with gratitude that this prayer, this desire, is already in reality. We see her slipping through the cool waters of the Salish Sea. We hear the sound of the splash. We see her swim through the kelp beds. We feel the sun warm on us as we enjoy the crisp, cool air. We hear the eagles call from above, the birds sing from the trees, as we see our beloved free in her home waters. And we hold this image in our mind We open our hearts in gratitude and joy, knowing that this miracle has already happened. And we release anything in us that would be disbelief. We release skepticism. We release the need to react. We release the need to respond to negativity. And we hold to our vision. We hold to the beauty of this as we continue to see her slipping through the cool waters, engaging with her family. And we just love the beauty of it. And our heart is filled with the joy. In our heart, there is only joy. Bring that joy up to the crown of the head and release it. Just keep our attention at the crown of our head. And then just imagine your whole body relaxing, releasing any tension. Feel any fear just slip away. Feel any tension just releasing. And with this wholeness of spirit, we declare this freedom for Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut. She is well, she is whole, she is home. We affirm this in love. Anything, any energy, any vibration that would seem to disrupt this harmony, it falls like leaves from a tree and vanishes. There is no power greater than this love. There is no power greater than this connection. Spirit is, in fact, conspiring on the behalf of the freedom of our sentient friends, of our beloved family members. We call it free. Right now, we feel the sensation of freedom. We are free. In this space of love, we lift up the entire planet. In this space of love, we lift up every person, every being. We imagine the entire world filled with love. Every person, every being, all of our beloveds in the ocean and in every body of water, everything that crawls and slithers and flies and walks on 2 legs or 4. There is only love. We declare harmony for our Mother Earth. We declare harmony for our brothers and sisters here that walk the earth. We declare peace. In this moment, we are so grateful for all of this, knowing that it is good, knowing that we are united in love, knowing that we are united in power, knowing that we are united in the realization that what we have created together is so, that this only occurs in the perfect way, that this occurs in perfect timing, that this occurs with the highest of energy. We call it good. We call it good. We call it good. I know that it is so. I release this word. I release this word into the universe. I release this bond, this love, these words of power, these words of creation, with so much gratitude to the Creator, with so much gratitude In every direction, we are filled with love and gratitude. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This being said, being released, I say namaste, amen, ashe. It is so.
Thank you. Going to unmute mics here in case anyone wants to say anything. Try to come back from that. If you had your eyes closed, hope you were visioning what I was seeing on the screen. I encourage you to come back and watch it. And if you can meditate with your eyes open, really that. Thank you, Sai from Pacific Northwest Protectors for that beautiful video and music. I want her to see that as well and feel that, and she will. And there's some powerful prayer warriors, and we're going to continue to do that. And there are lots of ways to advocate, and doing it out of love, like you said, Reverend Lambert, is what we put out, she feels, and absolutely we will continue to do that in the space of love. So thank you very much. Christina, is there anything you want to say before we leave today?
Just please keep putting out all the good vibes. Thank you very much. And Toki is love. Toki is pure magic, and she's bringing us all together. And we're gonna get her home.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Deborah?
Thank you, Tamara Reverend, please. That was beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. Deborah?
I love you guys. I love you guys. I see it happening. Thank you, everybody, for every good thought, every good prayer, every good action. Alejandro, the time you spend on the street, I know how difficult that is. And you're the perfect example of this action being done with a loving heart. This makes all the difference. Thank you all.
Thank you. Deb Cruz?
Keep the faith. And thank you for staying in it for the long haul.
We will not give up. Vanessa?
No, I just want to thank you all. I think there's so many beautiful hearts here, like set on the right place. And yeah, as they said before, I think it was Deborah or Christina, like do it from a place of love. No, it has to come from a place of love, not like sending this like I hate dolphinariums. I hate no. It has to come from a place of love. And thank you everyone here. And Alejandro, thank you for everything you do for Lolita. I admire you so much. Like, yeah, thank you.
Michael?
Oh, I just want to thank you all just for your loving presence. It's quite beautiful. And for having me on to talk about the sanctuary. And let's bring Tokite and Corky back home.
Yes.
I'll
And
see
thank you.
you in September or December.
Yes, you'll be back on in December. You're welcome to come on before that as well. And when you talk about hearts and loving heart, you didn't have to purchase that place, and you did. And you did it for a really special reason and special. So thank you. And you will be in my prayers all week for your continued health as well. So thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you.
Alejandro, I like to end with Alejandro.
Thank you so much, Tom, for the amazing meditation and prayers. Everybody appreciates it so much. We feel the energy and the love on your words. Thank you, Michael, for everything you do for Corky. Thank you, Vanessa. You're amazing. And now you are both part of our TokiTV show. Thank you.
Thank you, Alejandro. We all love you. We all love you, and for your dedication and your heart. She knows it. She feels it.
But put your energy on TokiTV, not me. Forget about me. Just everything needs to go focus on TokiTV.
Well, it reflects. It reflects on her. So everything you put out goes to her. So you keep being you, and we can keep loving you too. Because as we love you, we love her.
Me too. Yeah, me too. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You two are connected. Thank you, everyone, for meeting us again. We will be here each and every Sunday for Toki TV. We will let you know when we're going to meet again this week for another prayer and meditation session. And just remember, only light can draw out the darkness, can get rid of the darkness. So keep spreading your light, keep spreading your love. Know that it's landing for her. So be cautious with that. And we do love her. We love you, Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut, and we will not give up. We will bring you home. Everybody, will see you next week.
When we got ready to leave, I told you, this is not a goodbye. This is just farewell. We'll see you again. Sk'aliCh'elh-tenaut.